I'm now going to go over questions 8 and 9 from the SAT practice. So for number 8, this is a circle problem. So kind of go back to circles. So it says the graph of the given equation in the xy plane is a circle. If the center of this circle is translated 1 unit up and the radius is increased by 1, which of the following equations is the equation of the resulting circle? So really the thing you need to know for this is the general equation of a circle, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where h comma k is the center and r is the radius. So if we look at this equation that they gave us, the center of this circle is going to be 0, comma, -1. And the reason for that is if we look at this h and k, we have to flip the signs when we go from the equation to the actual point. So here, there's nothing next to that x squared, which implies that it's 0. And this is a positive 1. So when we flip it to the actual point, it becomes a -1. Then we know that this 4 is equal to the radius squared. So my actual radius, I need to take the square root of both sides. I get radius equals 2. So I'm just going to draw a very rough xy plane here. I'm going to have a circle at 0, -1, and then it has a radius of 2. So I guess we could go ahead and draw that. So when we draw that out, we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and we end up with a circle. I tried to make it as nice as I could. There we go. So if we were to translate this circle, all right, it tells us if the center of this circle is translated 1 unit up and the radius is increased by 1. So first, let's translate it 1 unit up. If we go 1 unit up, we're actually at the origin. So our new center is 0, 0. Then they want us to increase the radius by 1. So our new radius is going to be 3 because our original radius was 2. So then all we need to do now is take this information and plug it into here. So since it's 0, 0, we're definitely going to have an x squared plus y squared with nothing because it's 0, 0. And then our radius squared is going to be 9 because that's 3 squared. So our answer here is going to be B. So for 9, it says the graph of the equation above in the xy plane is a circle. What is the radius of the circle? So again, to find the radius, we need to have it in this form. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. We need to have it in this form. Right now it is not in that form. In order to get it to look how we want it to, we have to do what is called completing the square. So to do that, we do x squared plus 8x plus blank. We want to separate the x's together and then put the y's together. And then I leave this little blank here because these little blanks because I need to add numbers in to complete the square. So then what I do, I'm going to take the value attached to my x, divide it by 2, and square it. So that gives me 8 divided by 2 is 4. I get 4 squared, 16. So I'm going to put a 16 there. And since we added a 16 to the left side of the equation, we're going to want to add a 16 to the right side of the equation. So now we need to do the same thing for the y. I've got a -2. I have a -6 attached to my y. I'm going to divide it by 2 and square it. That gives me a -3 squared, which gives me a 9. 9 is what I add in. Again, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So then, I'm going to go ahead and factor these. For my x's, when I factor this, I get x plus 4 times x plus 4. And for my y's, I get y minus 3 times y minus 3. And then I'm going to add up everything on this right-hand side of the equation. So when I do that, I end up with 49. I'm almost there. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the problem. We could actually stop here, but I'm going to finish it up so it looks nicer. So now we are officially in this form that we want for the circle. And they want to know, what's the radius? Well, I know that this 49 is equal to r squared. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and I get that my radius is equal to 7.